Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and you are watching The Nerdy Grail. Now, this is just a short video for today. So it's literally an out of the cinema review of the latest film, which has just come out today, Paddington in Peru. Yeah, I love the Paddington franchise. I've loved all the films so far. I saw Paddington 1, saw Paddington 2 in the cinema. Both were really great. And so I had to see this new film when it was announced, Paddington in Peru. And I can just say that it's just a bit of fun. It is a fun, light-hearted, it's a family film. You know, it is aimed more towards kids, but it's just for the general audience as well. And I think it was a lot of fun for what it's worth. Is it the best film, like the masterpiece of cinema? No, probably not. But will you have a good time when watching it? Yeah, I'd say so. Will you be bored? No, I definitely wasn't, and I'd happily watch it again. And I've already put my pre-order in for the Blu-ray because I want to add it to my collection. So generally, what is this film about? Well, the film basically gives you a little bit more of a backstory into Paddington. We get to finally discover where he's from and get to find his long-lost tribe as well. So basically, at the start of the film, Paddington goes to get a passport to become a proper British citizen because he's spent a lot of time in London now with the Brown family, and we do get to see the Brown family once again. We get to see Henry, played by Hugh Bonneville. We get to see Judy. We get to see Mrs. Brown, played by Emily Mortimer. We get to see Jonathan. But they're all grown up now. Judy wants to go to university. Jonathan is more staying at home and being lazy. Mrs. Brown is sort of coming to realization that her family is starting to change now. Some of her younglings are trying to fly the coop and she's getting a bit sad. And they're not sure about what's going to happen to Paddington. But Paddington's fine. He's been adapted into the family life for ages now. But he does receive a letter from Peru from an interesting character, actually, played by Olivia Colman, the Reverend Mother, who runs a retirement home for retired bears in Peru, and sends him a letter saying that something's happened to his Aunt Lucy, and Paddington jumps on that and wants to go to Peru to find out what's going on with Aunt Lucy. They travel to Peru to have a little bit of a family holiday because Mrs. Brown feels that that would be a good idea because the family seem to be not have such a strong bond like they used to because the kids are getting older. They head there and find out that Aunt Lucy's actually gone missing, and Paddington and the rest of the Brown family basically go on this wacky hijinks across the jungle searching for his aunt, basically. And they come across this seafaring captain played by Antonio Banderas, known as Hunter Cabot, and his daughter, played by Carla Toos, called Gina Cabot. They agree to take Paddington and the Brown family off on this perilous quest to find Aunt Lucy. But there's like a secret plot going on. Mrs. Bird, who also joins them on their trip as well, who's also part of the Brown family, decides to stay behind in the retirement home just in case Aunt Lucy comes back, and starts to discover some deep, dark secrets about this little group of nuns, and they turn out to be not quite as innocent as they seem. But as for Paddington and the Browns, they are having a few wacky hijinks along the way, and we do discover that Antonio Banderas' character is actually from a bloodline of like gold mongerers and gold hunters who are pretty much like thieves and are planning on stealing a load of gold, really. And they're using Paddington basically to get what they want, to find the secret location, the secret stash, and become filthy rich, basically. Which eventually they do find this long-lost treasure, but it turns out that actually the treasure was just a hidden tribe of bears, Paddington's tribe, his long-lost tribe of his people, and it's just this big orange grove. And Paddington has to make the decision whether he wants to stay with his tribe that he's found, because he does also find Aunt Lucy, who is alive and well, or to go back and be with the Brown family. And ultimately, you know, as these films sort of go, he does decide to travel back with the Brown family. And by the end of this film, the Brown family, after spending this perilous journey together, they learn to reconnect. And so then when they go back, they're stronger than ever. Judy goes off to university. Mr. Brown gets a promotion in work because he was struggling a little bit in work at the start because they were saying that he wasn't like daring enough, he wouldn't take enough risks, he was a bit too cautious. But now he's managed to take risks, you know, and so he's got a promotion. You know, Mrs. Brown is starting to relax now a lot more, and she's taking up artwork and painting, and it's all really nice. And Jonathan is now going to these little fairs, these job fairs, and these science fairs because he builds like these contraptions. So it's all working out, and Paddington invites his new tribe over occasionally for breaks to show them London so they can see what his life is like, really. Yeah, it's really, really good. And that's sort of where the film ends. But we do get a nice little mini, would I say post-credit scene? It's kind of to a degree where we see Hugh Grant's character come back from the second movie, briefly talking from jail. And he does say that he's soon to be released. So it's quite interesting, actually. And Paddington just introduces his newfound family to him. So it's quite a cute little ending, really. So what would I give this film overall? I would probably just say I'd probably give it a 6 or a 7. I'd probably say a 7 because I enjoyed it. I'm going to watch it again. The pacing is pretty good. The plot is predictable. It is a bit predictable, if I'm being honest, which is probably my only gripe with the film. You could see the so-called plot twists a mile away. You could tell that Olivia Colman's character was up to no good from the start, really. You could tell that Antonio Banderas' character had a secret agenda quite quickly. And then, to be fair, the film doesn't really hide it either. So that's a little bit of a negative, is, you know, you sort of saw all the bad stuff coming. And you sort of knew at the end that Paddington really wasn't going to stay with his new family because this sort of plotline has been recycled before in other films. But I suppose at the time we didn't know whether this franchise was going to continue on after this third film, and it still might not, but they've left the door open now for a possible fourth film or a spin-off or a TV show or whatever. So I'd imagine we will see Paddington again. But yeah, I did enjoy it. Like I said, the pacing was good. There was a couple of musical numbers in there. It was quite a bit of a cringy song that Olivia Colman sings. It's literally called Paddington in Peru, singing about Paddington's coming to Peru and we need to prepare. But it was a bit of a funny one. She held a high note for a very, very long time. And yeah, you got to see lots of the old characters return from the previous films as well. We had Jim Broadbent come back as Samuel Gruber. You know, we had a few of the old crew back, and so it was nice to see, really, because obviously it's been a while between films. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And Ben Whishaw again did a fantastic job as the voice of Paddington, such an iconic voice. And yeah, I would say if you want just a nice, calm, chill family film, just to put on for an hour and 40 minutes, just to take all your problems, let them all drift away, watch a fun film about a bear in a blue raincoat and a red hat who loves marmalade sandwiches, then stick this film on. And I'm definitely going to rewatch the previous two films as well, because I think they're worth a rewatch now, especially after watching Paddington in Peru. But that is it. That is going to be my little review on Paddington in Peru. I said it was going to be a shorter one. But yeah, I'd recommend go seeing it in the cinema if you haven't already. And I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely would watch again. So, this is going to be the Nerdy Grail signing off. I hope you did enjoy this short little review. If you did, please like it by giving it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you've seen this film or if you're planning to see this film. Have you seen the other films as well, and what are your thoughts? And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe because I guarantee that there's content on this channel that you will enjoy. But for now, this is the Nerdy Grail signing off. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now, everyone.